Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Paul. Hopefully you're having an amazing day. Officially, AMD are yet to provide either the prices or release date for the Ryzen 9000 series for the AM5 platform. Unofficially, the release date is the 31st of July, but we will see shipping take place a couple of days later. That would be the 2nd of August. And as for prices, well, a retailer in Slovenia have actually put these prices up for the 4 SKUs. Now, it is worth noting that A, these are euros. B, well, obviously there are things like, taxes and VAT to take into consideration, which is going to differ per region. And C, again, this is unofficial. So again, things could change before launch. But with that said, it does give us a pretty good insight into what we can expect. So I'm going to round up the prices for everyone's sanity, and the 9600X is going to be 310. 400 will net you the 9700X. The 9900X allegedly is going to be $500, and the flagship will be 660. Now, the good news is that these prices are actually pretty aggressive if you compare them against the Ryzen 7000 series, especially vanilla chips, but do note that the prices have fallen significantly since then, and this was particularly true when we started to see like the X3D parts launch. The second point, and perhaps this is even more of an important one, is that, again, these processors allegedly are going to start to ship in the 2nd of August, but the various rumors are that in September-ish, AMD will announce the X3D chips. Now, whether or not that's true, honestly, I can't be 100%. Some of my sources are telling me it is untrue and it's going to be early next year, but most people are telling me that, yes, AMD want to accelerate the speed of the X3D variants, and other people online are saying much the same thing. But let's assume that it is true for the sake of this video. That means that, let's say by October-ish, you're going to have the X3D chips as well as the vanilla chips and Intel's Arrow Lake available at at store shelves. So what is going to happen to the prices of the vanilla chips? Are we going to start to see them cut? Also, if we look at the actual prices of the SKUs, I have some thoughts. So let's pick on the middle two chips here, the 9900 and the 9700, which is a 12 and 8 core part respectively. Now, maybe my math is off, but you're looking at like €100 separating the two, right? Now, I don't know about you, but that just basically means the 9700X makes very little sense. Again, maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way, but I just, like the bottom two SKUs, the 9600X, which is a 6-core processor, 310 for that, 6 cores? That's kind of a hard sell for me. That's, again, I'm not saying it's awful, but assuming these prices, again, at Funtech are accurate, that just seems like there's just not much of a price gap. And you could also say that this is perhaps somewhat psychological for AMD to have done, because if you look at it, you're like, well, 310, hang on a minute, I can get myself a much better deal if I go with the 9700X. Wait a minute, if I'm paying $400, why not just go $500 and I get the 9900X? So maybe perhaps that's one of the reasons AMD have done this, right? It's a psychological thing of like, you're essentially upselling yourself. Because if I'm looking at this, my brain is like, well, I guess I want to spend around $300 and $400. Well, hang on a minute. Why the hell would I spend $400 if I could spend $500 and get the 9900X? Oh man! But now I'm paying like $500 and I've got 12 cores. Maybe I should just go to 16 cores. And you're upselling yourself. So maybe that's the reason. Again, maybe I'm looking at this, too deeply. Let me know in the comments down below if you feel differently. I'm really, really curious to hear your thoughts and opinions on this one. Also, just a real quick thing for Ryzen's X3D chips. WCCF Tech have managed to snag exclusive, and essentially, long story short, I'll leave, of course, a link in the video description to the article, but the X3D chips in the Ryzen 9000 lineup offer full overclocking support. So this means that it's not just limited to the normal thing of like PBO or what have you. Instead, they can, you can, if you buy the processor obviously, have the ability to manually overclock the CCDs independently, I believe. So that obviously gives you a lot of tweaking and, well, fine-tuning, and it possibly does mean that there have been some pretty big improvements for the X3D variants. It's going to be very interesting to see how the performance differs versus the vanilla chips. Obviously, we can probably imagine that the gaming results, the gaming benchmarks are going to see a pretty big increase because typically, you know, the V-cache really does benefit gaming, but we'll have to wait and see on, you know, more applications, basically, how performance scales. I'll be very interested to see how AMD does price the X3D versus the vanilla chips. It's going to be very, very curious to see the marketing for this. But anyway, I think that's just about it for this particular video. It's just a quick video today because I just want to talk about this. The prices were something that a few people were DMing me about on Twitter. So, like, you know what? I kind of want to talk about it because the prices, as I said just a moment ago, between the 8 and the 12 cores were kind of like, yeah, that's just weirding me out, dude. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.